Hey guys, Steve Shields here. We've got a battle report number 5 here. I'm doing a rematch against Tyranids as requested. So a lot of people didn't like that it was super shooty against super stabby, so I said, fine, I'm going to outstab the Tyranids. So we'll go over my list here. I've got Bloodthirster as my warlord. He got 2 greater gifts, so he's rocking Feel No Pain 4 up and +1 wound. 2 heralds. One's got the Grimoire, one's got the Strength 8 AP 1 lance, and an axe of corn. Riding around with 16 puppies as per usual. We've got troops here, just some Nurglings and Plague Bearers to hold objectives. And then we're bringing a Spartan today. Check him out, he's pretty cool looking. He's got 25 model capacity, so he's got 20 Chaos Marines, Mark of Corn, running an Axe Lord, and a level 3 Sorcerer. We've also got 10 Cultists just as bullet sponges. So Brian's going to go over his Tyranids now. Tell us what you got, Brian.
So starting over here, we got my 3-man Carnifex squad we saw in the last video. One with a Venom Cannon, one with Crushing Claws, Silent Talons, and one with 2 pairs of Twin Link Devourers with Brain Leech Worms. We got the old school X-Trin Armor Cast, 2 squads of Zone Throats, 1 man each, 1 25-man squad of Termagants here. We got the Tervigon, standard loadout. We've got Dominion. And then we've got Onslaught is the rolled one, obviously because Dominion with the Primaris power. Another 25-man squad of Hormagaunts. Hive Tyrant, again rolled Tenacity on the Warlord chart, awesome. Onslaught and Warp Blast were his 2 psychic powers. We got a 30-man squad of Gargoyles and a 24-man squad of Hormagaunts.
So, alright, we're going to go ahead and give it a roll for our mission. Purple's going to be deployment, and blue will be mission. So, we'll see you at deployment. After deployment, as you can see, we got the wonky one that's corner facings. We got my puppies hiding in the building there with the heralds in the back. Bloodthirster up here, as well as the Spartan. Obviously, all the Marines are hanging out there, and the Cultists are there. The Demons are in reserve, and as you can see, there is a veritable sea of Tyranids over here. He's got his Gargoyles, some Hormagaunts, Exocrine over there with a clear line of sight. There he's got Big Mama hiding behind the building, and all the Termagants there. His Carnifex guys are in this corner here, trying to come around my flank. So, without further ado, please try to steal the bacon. You do not. Alright, we'll see what happens at the end of my turn 1. End of my turn 1, very quick turn because I'm a very stabby army. So puppies Grimoire and then went forward. They ran 3 inches, so they're pretty close to Brian now. Cultists shifted down the building to be closer to the objective. Spartan did a pivot, shot all his weapons at the Carnifexes there. He did 2 wounds total. And Harold was out of range with his weapons, so that's all that happened on this turn. So not too much, and we're going on to Brian's. And at Brian's turn, he actually managed to do a whole point to the Spartan with the Carnifexes over there. So hopefully they're going to take some revenge. Over here he charges Gargoyles in, and I did win combat, but he's fearless, so he just didn't care. He killed off 3 of the puppies, and I killed off a total of 19 of his Gargoyles. My Herald actually managed to hit with his lance, my only shooting weapon here. So he's keeping me tied up. I'm not going to be able to charge anything valuable next turn, so it's pretty smart on his part, but the Bloodthirster is free to rampage. So let's see what I can do. We're at the end of my turn 2. So we deep struck the Nurglings here, right on the objective, and then Plague Bearers back there to try to get to his objective. These guys popped out of the Land Raider, and they charged the squad of Termagants that was here, murdered them. Spartan shot the Shooty Docofex there, finishing him off. Bloodthirster charged in the Hormagaunts. He only killed 3, plus 1 from Whip, so they're still hanging out. Puppies managed to finish off Gargoyles, and they move forward. So we're going to see what happens on Brian's turn. See if the Hive Tyrant comes in and all that good stuff. At the end of Brian's turn 2, as you can see, we've got a roiling combat over there. He charged in both Fexes and attempted to charge in the Guns. They got enough deaths in Overwatch where they couldn't quite get in. Tervigon assaulted the Plague Bearers, and believe it or not, I won that combat. The 10-point Ether Blade got in there for a wound, and he whiffed. Over here, Bloodthirster whiffed and only killed off 2 Hormagaunts, and Brian did another wound to him, so he's slowly picking them away. But here comes the puppy for reinforcement. Senior Hive Tyrant here came in, shot at the Nurglings holding a base, and killed off 1. So they're still there, still holding, but his Hive Tyrant's swooping around. So we'll see if I can actually manage to kill off these Carnifexes and keep my Death Star rolling, or if that's where they end. So, see what happens. Here we are at the end of my turn 3 here. As you can see, this close combat's still going. Sorcerer challenge because he has to, and he got crushed by Carnifex. We did manage to get this big boy down to 1 wound, and he's at 3 from last turn, so this could be iffy to see if the Lord lives through it. Over here, I actually did another wound to him without the champion. I just got 2 poison wounds off on him, and he failed to save. He, yet again, failed to hurt me. I passed my invul. Over here, Mr. Spartan fired at his flying hive tyrant. He wounded him with a las cannon, and that stupid feeling of pain from his warlord trait saved him again. The guard cultists here actually did go ahead and fire at him. They hit him. He passed the save. But what's good about my turn is this combat here. I charged in the puppies into his Zoanthrope, Hormagaunts, and Termagants. I did lose 2 puppies, but we're fighting a good fight here, and managed to kill a bunch of Hormagaunts, wound the Zoe, and a bunch of Termagants. So hopefully I can keep that Bloodthirster alive, but he's down to 2 wounds, as you can see by the die there. And he hasn't made It Will Not Die yet, so good job, Bloodthirster. So let's see what Havoc Brian makes. Into Brian's turn 3. As you can see, this combat is still going. He cast Paroxysm on me, dropping my weapon skill by 3. So I had a very reduced damage output there. He managed to kill off 1 puppy over here, and that's it. Bloodthirster still has 2 wounds, thankfully. He didn't get hurt again. Zoe did live through the shenanigans, though, so he's probably going to Paroxysm me again, and even unless I can kill him next turn. Hive Tyrant killed off the Nurgling base behind the building there, so he's just got to kill off the cultists to stop me off that objective. Over here, the combat ended. The Lord got a 5 on his demon weapon. He rolled it, hit with all but 1, wounded with all because of his shred. So he burned through the guy who was challenging him and finished off stab effects as well. So thankfully, because of those new rules, we managed to finally end that combat, although we are severely reduced in number. And then the biggest surprise, you might be wondering where the Tervagon is. The Plaguebearer champion hit both times, rolled boxcars on his attack roll, and managed to do 2 wounds. Brian goes, "Oh, whatever, you're not going to kill him off." Then I do another 2 wounds with poison from the squad, and he fails both. So Plaguebearers beat a monstrous creature. Happy day. But now they've got another one to deal with. So we'll see what I can do on my turn. It's not looking too good for Brian. It depends if he can keep Paroxysm me and finish off that squad. The end of my turn 4. So shooting phase, I went ahead and fired at the Hive Tyrant here. I actually wounded him, and then he crashed to Earth and took another wound. So he's still alive. He's on the ground, but he's about to fly again, so it doesn't really matter. This combat finally ended. They ran out of synapse because I used my Herald to kill off his Zoanthrope, so he failed his check. I hunted down his Termagants relentlessly with the Bloodthirster, and they disappeared. Since I can only hunt down 1 squad, he's still got the 2 Hormagaunts there, but they're not too much of a threat. Over here, I charged the Marines at the Zoanthrope that was here, as well as the Termagants that were over here. Lord killed off the Zoanthrope, and the Marines killed off the Termagants, just barely. It actually reduced him to 1 model, and then he failed because he doesn't have synapse. Over here, the Plaguebearers did a wound. The champion got through with that AP2, and then I completely whiffed on my poison. Even with all those charge attacks, 4s followed by 4s, I did a single wound to him. So he capitalized on that. He smushed 2 of my Plaguebearers, and then I rolled a 9 on the leadership, so I lost another 3. So he's down to the champion and a single dude. So maybe they can take down 2 monster creatures, but it's looking like they're going to need these guys to help. So the game is still going. It's pretty much a forlorn conclusion, but Brian wants to fight it out to the end. So let's see what happens. Here at the end of Brian's turn 4. He went ahead and charged in the Hive Tyrant there after shooting. He actually did a wound in Overwatch, so I'm kind of impressed with that. But he killed off 2 guys in Assault, and unfortunately I stayed there. So I do not get to use the Spartan to try to finish him off. I'm hoping those puppies are going to be in range to get him. Over there, he actually managed to stay in combat with the Plaguebearers because we both whiffed. So, let's see if I can get the puppies in there, otherwise he's going to contest that objective, and it'll only be a minor victory for me. At the end of my turn 5 here, Mr. Bloodthirster charged into his Exocrine and murdered him. To be expected. Troops are holding that objective there, not that there's anything that can really contest them. Over here, I charged all the puppies in. They did nothing. Brian passed all his saves. I made him take 13 saves. He passed every single one. He smacked the cultists, killing off 2, actually winning combat because of that, causing them to run away off the board. Those guys rolled a 3 on their leadership, so they are like, no, we got this. So we're going to continue to Brian's turn, see if I can't take out his Hive Tyrant before we see if the game ends. Here at the end of Brian's turn 5 and the end of the game. I finally managed to kill off Mr. Hive Tyrant there. The AP2 Herald managed to take him out. So I win the game. It's a major victory, but Brian almost got me down to a minor. So it shows that Chaos can outclose combat nids, so their internet. So let's go ahead, put out our models, and do a recap. Do a unit recap here, starting with my Death Star here. They definitely did well. They made up their points, but they almost died to that Carnifex Death Star. Definitely came down to the wire with the Lord just happening to roll well on his X at the last couple turns there. Perhaps wouldn't use all full 20 men next time, but, you know, it was kind of awesome to have them charge in and get just a bucket of dice. Bloodthirster, as always, is a champion. Giving him those double rewards just makes him almost invincible. Plague Bearers, surprise stars of this game. I'm going to go ahead and give them that merit. They managed to kill off a monstrous creature by themselves and then survive through a second one, actually hurting it too. So they're going to get something special for that. I'll decide what that is in the future and let you guys know. Puppy Death Star, also awesome. I think if I'm running demons, I'm going to run them. They are just so phenomenal. I managed to Grimoire every single time, so I kept him at a 3-up invul constantly and ruined Brian's day. However, Warp Storm, you may be wondering why it never showed up in the video. I rolled a 7 every single turn, so nothing happened with Warp Storm ever. So that's interesting and unexpected. So, close combat chaos worked pretty well. They wouldn't do so well if I was facing flyers, but this is definitely a fun list that can still bring the hurt. So we're going to go ahead and switch to Brian and do a recap with him.
This battle, the MVPs were the Hormagaunts and the Carnifex Death Star. The Hormagaunts did amazing versus the Bloodthirster. They almost earned all their points. That's 240-point squad. They dealt 4 wounds to the Bloodthirster, which is phenomenal. That poison helps out so much. Carnifex Death Star worked well. They knocked the whole point off the tank before I got locked in combat with Steve's Death Star. In combat, they managed to take out his champion and his sorcerer before the Lord came in and just wrecked everything.
He does do that.
For the not so much, the Gargoyles, they got bum rush. They couldn't really maneuver as much, but irregardless, that 3-up invul kind of stung when they couldn't do much of anything, shooting or combat. Blinding Venom didn't do anything. Don't think I'm ever really going to use that in combat ever again. It's not worth it unless they've got a lower initiative. Turbogon, doubles on the first spawn. 13 spawns? Great. Nothing else. Can't do much in combat, can't do much with weaponry. Might debate looking into upgrades just to help with the combat ability, but right now, unless she's spawning, she's not worth it.
We're going over your units here. You said what you liked and didn't like about the units, but now, as a list as a whole, what do you think you'd change to try to win game number 3?
So I'd probably change by either swapping out the Turrigants for Hormagaunts or a Trigon. The Trigon would be more likely if I know there's going to be more shooty, which Hormagaunts would be nice though, because they do have that nice poison, they have the 2 attack space. Termagants really didn't do much for me, they couldn't shoot, everything was locked in combat. A Trigon would be able to help push those combats along a lot faster. Overall the list, the psychic powers from the Zoanthropes helped out. Paroxysm, dropping weapon skill, ballistic skill, immensely helps a lot. And Catalyst, you cannot go wrong with Feel No Pain.
Alright guys, so this was the first battle here that you guys suggested, doing the rematch against Tyranids. Let me know what you want to see next. I love to do battles that you guys suggest. It lets me know that people are actually paying attention to the videos here. Just let me know if you want to see some hobby videos too. I'm kind of working on one for the battle board. I'm going to reveal next time what I'm going to give away for the 100 subscriptions on YouTube. So keep watching, stay tuned, and let me know.